Morning. Welcome, sisters. I'm pretty sure we're live now. Welcome to the people that have been waiting in chat too. Thank you. I want to welcome back my sisters, Rochelle from Amethyst Ascension and Courtney from Aries Witchcraft. Today, we're gonna get into something that I think most of us who have channels on YouTube or just TikTok or any social media where you are kind of like an entertainer, a digital content creator, kind of like struggles, echoes from childhood core wounds that I think in this type of environment that we are creating for ourselves. So before I dig in, I want to say hi, Selena.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Hillary. And Darla. Hi. And Mr. Michael Draven, thank you so much for being here. So, what do you think? What do you think?
I am currently just posting on my community.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So I was kind of, we've been talking backstage a little bit because we, with the Sisterhood chant, we never really know where it's going to go, but we have a good idea of what we're going to talk about. And one of the biggest things that we all find ourselves in with content creation is, the why. Why, what are you into it for? And how does it affect you? If it doesn't meet your own expectations, your own standards, and how is it when we interact with others, is it affecting us positively, negatively? What are all the things that help us to recognize patterns that we might actually be developing or have struggled with in our adulthood? And like my oracle deck, I call them echoes from the core wounds. And so, it's almost like recognizing the echo is going to help you recognize that core wound, whatever that is. And the biggest one I think that we struggle with is that overachieving, right?
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I'm trying to send it over.
Amber.
I'm looking for.
And Jess. You're getting picked on already. I'll ask each of you specifically, like, do you ever feel guilty when you rest instead of create?
Okay. I'm back.
Yes. And I think it comes from multiple factors. We got as kids, we're rewarded when we give effort from school, from our parents. And then on top of that, in the day and age of social media, you get punishments from algorithms if you rest. So it's like, I think multiple factors play into that.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, sis? Do you feel guilty when you rest instead of create?
I do, but I'm going to tell you the reason why is because I have so many ideas that are moving around in my head all the time. You remember that movie Multiplicity? If I could clone several versions, I might think about it. Okay, and be a task manager. I want you to do that. I want you to do that. Because I do have. I understand how it can be because I have been there, as far as wanting to feel worthy in what I produce, right? Look at me, I am worthy because I can do this. Or look at me, I'm smart because I can do this. Or, and I know that a little girl I was told that there were things you can't do that boys can do. And I was also like, you know what? Anything a boy can do, I can do better. Watch me. Okay. So there was also that wound. I came in with a woman wound, okay, or a female wound. Because even though mom didn't say you can't do this, mom always said you can do anything you put your mind to. It was society that said, well, little girls have to keep their place, you know. And throughout history, that's pretty much what it's been. This is what your role is, even for queens, right? This is your role. You need to be the baby maker so that somebody else can come and take that role. We can't give you that role. You're a woman, right? So it comes from that too. So
Yeah.
I would say I have the wound like in every which way possible. Yes. And yes, social media. If you don't do exactly what they say, you know, in the narrative that they want to spin, then they just suppress your videos.
Mhm.
Do I know they do this? Yeah, I know that they do this. Everybody knows they do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you don't tie your value to your output, though.
I don't anymore, but I used to. Yes. Now it's just, I make stuff for myself. Just like I just released the planner today. I want it for me, okay? But why not make it for other people if they want it, right? Make it available. That's just working smarter, not harder,
Yes.
right? So do I feel like I am more worthy because I do this? Not anymore. But did it maybe make me into that person? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
What about you, Courtney? Do you
about the same. Now, I don't think I'm fully healed from that. I think it still gets me at times. But I think I've come a long way from where I used to be. I do believe that I had that core wound like for a while, like the majority of my life. So yeah, I think I did put some of my worth into things I did or like created or, you know, like see me, but it was also more for like see me, like I wanted to be heard, seen, right?
Yeah.
Know that like, hey, you know, I'm here, I'm somebody too, and that could be from I don't know childhood, whatever, but I'm working. I'm going to say I'm a work in progress with it. I don't think I'm like I used to be either.
And I think that, you know, for each one of us, that core wound could be different, but still echo the same way later on. You know, like when we think about the core wounds, like I know you talked to your chat GPT to give you a breakdown of what these core wounds could be. They could still manifest later as echoes, and we might find ourselves in similar situations and feeling the same way because of what we talked about with content creation and the algorithm and how people react to what you're putting out there, because there's a reason you want to be seen, but you want to be seen for who you really are. Or, you know, like myself, I know that there were many things and I'm still figuring them out as I go. I think, oh, I got to figure it out. And then something else will be like, well, wait a minute. There's more to the story than what I thought. As a child trying to get mom's attention because she was overworked and you know, I figured that at least if I couldn't do the emergency, it couldn't be, you know, getting in trouble. It was overachieving because then even that didn't pan out sometimes because she was too busy to make it to award ceremonies or concerts and stuff, you know. So yeah, and so but you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it, and then or you could be in a big household where there's many children and you're
vying for attention. Yes.
Mom had that, you know, and then grandma was checked out. So, but yet, you know, we still find ourselves in these needing to be seen, but different scenarios, you know, it's like.
I feel like, and I've said this before, that I think a lot of, and I just want to say this right up front. I am not any kind of mental professional or medical professional. This is only my own experience. I'm not trying to give any kind of medical advice here, okay? But I know for me, from the time I was little, I know that I wanted to be heard. I wanted to be seen, right? And I think, and I've said this before, that I think a lot of times the depression for people can stem from really not being seen, not being heard, not being understood, you know? So they feel alone in this world. And that is like the worst feeling ever.
It is.
Even like for death, we're doing a death practice. And you think that it's about death of a physical person, but it's not always. Right? It's even death of a person that you were, or dreams that you had when you were a little kid. Then you realized that's not going to be feasible. There's not enough money for me to go to school for that. So I need to readjust my dreams in life, right? When you become an adult and certain things happen, but it's that abandonment. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of everybody else around me dying. I think death is like, ooh, yeah, a new adventure, right? But I don't want to be here without all my people that I love. That's the hard part.
Not being seen or heard.
I think
Not
the
in
loneliness.
Media sense, but yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying, I think when you brought up loneliness, I think that too plays a big factor into all of that. The loneliness, especially like if you're ever ostracized or judged, which we've all been judged, for something, and it makes you kind of close yourself off to. So I thought loneliness was a good point.
Yeah. It's like rejection. Rejection is a core wound, and it happens whether whoever is rejecting you, it's their intention to make you feel that way. Sometimes it happens, and so you're like, what did I do? When it's not you, it's them, and it wasn't intentional, or maybe it was, but that end result is still the same. And rejection is lonely. It's very
so many of these wounds are interlaced, just like our elements. I feel like when we say this is a water element or this is an earth element, it's really all of them. It's really a mixture of all of them. Some are just maybe heavier than the other ones. But I think that a lot of our wounds are the same thing.
Yeah.
One incident can cause many different kinds of wounds that affect us in such a profound way. Do I think that our social media helps with this particular wound? No. I remember when my son, when he was little, and he was no, I'm sorry, it was my daughter. They both did soccer for a little bit. When Bailey was on a soccer team, and they were just literally kicking ass. And we're talking about like second or third grade, right? So they were doing really good. It was fun. Then all of a sudden comes this thing, and I don't know if some of you older parents might remember this, where they were going to stop giving like rewards or trophies for the best teams, and they were just going to give them to all of the kids for participating. I hated that. I hated that because that's not real life.
No, I know.
Not everybody gets the job when they go for the interview. Not everybody wins the prize.
Yeah.
I read somewhere,
but
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I read somewhere that actually kind of like had a lot of like influence on certain generations too, that they all kind of got the idea from that because they changed a lot of things and just started rewarding everybody and not making you really work for it. So then when they got up into the real world and realized, it ain't really like this, it had like an effect on their psyche.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm going through chat and we should all be Baphomet goats. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you. You know, I was telling Courtney before we came on, I actually took the Element foundations, the Star did this in November, and I put it all into one. I've got some editing to do, but you know, just actually answering those prompts like made me realize some things. And like for myself, you know, I'm 56 years old, but I still have new situations that arise all the time. And so when something new happens, then it's like, oh, okay, well, heck, I'm like you said, Rochelle, I'm not a professional. You know, I am familiar with, you know, things because of my line of work in psychoanalysis and the palms, you know, what I've observed. So, and I think we hear that the psychologist is the one that needs the psychology more than anyone, you know, because they're too busy assessing other people's on their own. I'm like in a new situation that, I mean, I raised my children, but here I am, you know, I'm not just babysitting now. I've got a house full and it's 24/7. And I'm learning that sometimes I check out, and like you said, Courtney, sometimes it's a survival skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's the only way to reset. And if I'm not doing my everyday stuff, when I check out, what happens is I go through my mundane checked out. And so I'm still missing things. And that's unfair to the people around me. So this is something I'm working on now. Some more shadow work to do.
I think accepting certain things, though, that we need to do for our own survival is about letting the people around us know, listen, I need 10 minutes. I need you to give me 10 minutes. I need some space. Okay. And it's not about me not loving you. It's not about me not wanting to be there. It's about me loving myself too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For us in social media, sometimes, oh my God, that can feel so overwhelming. I feel guilty when I haven't replied to emails in a timely manner, when I haven't commented on my videos, but I'm just like overwhelmed sometimes. Granted, I know I do it to myself sometimes, but that is the nature of the beast of social media, isn't it? Having dings going off at 5 a.m. when you're trying to sleep, right? And then going, damn, what am I missing? Okay, it's time for me to get up.
I have heard
precisely
people say that shadow work, you got to take a break from it. And believe me, I get that. But I actually, for myself, I look forward to it because then I know that there's going to be some type of a relief, you know, some understanding, because otherwise it's like I just ignore it and go through the motions.
How can you truly be a tarot reader and not be doing shadow work all the time, though, if you're doing tarot all the time for yourself?
I think it's every day, even unconsciously, everything's pushing us towards it. Everything's leading up towards it. And when we become conscious and aware of the shadow work, it's that much greater to be our liberator. I don't think we're ever done. We never stop. I think it's, if you're really aware, you can see yourself still doing it daily. Rochelle and I have talked about that. We've all talked about that. I don't think it's how some people think it to be, but that's my opinion.
I mean, it makes me giggle a little bit when I see somebody say, oh, it's November, it's shadow work season. Really? So do you just like ignore who you are the rest of the year? I mean, why, you know?
Nah, not me. If I ignore the shadow, it will get mischievous and take over. It never stops for me. Death, though, depths of shadow, brightness of light, witness to all, without bias of human condition. Yeah, it helps me to be a little bit more compassionate and understand, where the biggest thing that I have learned is I listen to hear instead of listen to respond. And that's really because that's all I want for myself. And so I do that for others because I'm paying attention to everything. You know what I mean? Like, and understanding that this person probably has a core wound, my own stuff, and it's a call to that. And so I put the defense down. You know what I mean? I put it down and I just listen and understand.
Can I say something really quick, though?
Of course.
So I think that there is a difference between somebody being upset about something and somebody being triggered, because that doesn't mean if you are upset about something that it's all about you. Somebody could be an asshole.
Oh, well, yeah.
You could be upset with them because they're acting like an asshole or they're trying to hurt you or something. Okay. Being triggered, I think, is where you like lose yourself in that. And then you respond just to maybe hurt or, you know what I mean? I think triggering and being upset are two totally different things. And the word trigger, I think, is used so loosely as if it's just that's how we are. No, I think you can be upset with somebody if they're really being an asshole or if they're doing something that's harming you or harming somebody that you love. It's not your own shadow talking.
No, but your shadow comes out in how you react to it.
Yes. But if you are like, when I think of triggered, I think of like somebody that has PTSD or however you say it, post-traumatic stress. I'm not sure. How does it say? How does it go? Disorder. Thank you. Okay. So like, for instance, people that have been like in the armed forces, okay, and the fireworks go off. And it causes them really to have a visceral reaction where they can't think clearly. And I mean, it causes a really traumatic event. I think that's more what triggering is than somebody just being upset.
I see your point, and I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Yes.
I think being triggered causes us to react or overreact when it is unproductive too.
Yes. Yeah.
I had to put a lot of thought into this recently. And it's like the whole reacting and listening to, put the defenses down. I love that because I feel like defense is where we often can go wrong, especially when blocking out our own true shadow work, our own true growth. Especially trying to grow with others, you put others and it's so complex because each of you are complex. You're your own person. You can understand each other, love each other, but everybody's so complex, So when it's triggering when it isn't productive, it isn't going to help anything. I think that's where I've identified with myself to
that's it.
Look within. Why do I feel the need to speak right now? And is it going to pull me from myself and out of turn? Is it going to harm me and that person? And that's kind of what I feel when you're triggered. All that goes out the window, and you're reacting in defense mode. That's the way I see it.
Yes, I would. You said it way better.
This is a really good question.
You said it well,
Darla.
So,
do you think shadow becomes much softer over time, though? After decades of reflection, my shadow stuff is generally quite soft, gentle thoughts. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's because we learn to integrate as we go. If we're not integrating, then that shadow is going to get bigger. But if we're integrating and we're accepting these things, and that's by, deep reflection. But what I'm realizing is like, I wasn't expecting to have all my family home with me. So it's like it's a new situation. So I think when you find yourself in new situations and you're, it's not, if you haven't been there before, that's like new terrain. Then you might notice something a little bit different and you think, okay, well, maybe I wasn't as healed as I thought I was, because here now I've got to create better boundaries again. Learn to, again, love myself, take that time, because I'm raising children again. And I can't be just going through the motions, because they are extremely important and they need all of me in those moments, not just somebody going through the mundane emotions because she is disassociating, because she's still overwhelmed.
Right. So, and if you believe kind of like Jungian or Freud's idea of like the shadow and all the psychology, and you're mixing that with like the shadow work, you're kind of always needing to reintegrate something, because from my understanding, things can constantly be fed back into that shadow from our daily experiences. So things can constantly need integrating. It's like a flow of continuous energy. You come down and you descend, and then you integrate, you rise, almost like the Ouroboros. So it's this constant transformation. I think so. The way I look at it.
And expansion and extraction.
Yeah.
Or yes, like the Ouroboros.
I think so.
I mean, I think when you're dead, I think it was Draven that said, you keep on doing shadow work and integration until you are no more. And then it's probably in a different form, right? In the next existence.
Yeah. I have noticed too, like with my mom's generation, like I don't think they, not all obviously, but I mean like shadow work. I don't think my mom does shadow work. I do think she reflects. It's not the same as what we've learned, and it's like they hear that word and they associate that word with something kind of dark, I think, and mysterious and mystical, and okay, that's woo-woo, because they don't see the psychological aspect of it.
Well, I mean, even that age group, the baby boomers, I mean, therapy was a taboo thing. If you went to therapy, you were crazy for them. Right. Okay. You had too many problems. You couldn't function on your own. That was just, I mean, it was still kind of that for Gen X, the older Gen X. It wasn't until like recent years that it became more of an acceptable thing for people to go to therapy, Yeah. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Being afraid of it.
Yeah. I think the more that we are working on shadow, that the shadow will soften. And I think that's going to be different for each of us, whether we really are working on it or not, or ignoring it. That's kind of like what I was thinking, like with Mom. I think she reflects, but I don't think she knows where that comes from. She's just trying to be better than she was yesterday. Trigger to me is usually an overreaction based on individual programming. Yeah. Whereas being upset is just an expected and understandable response. Triggers are understandable too. Yeah.
I also think triggering happens the most out of a fear in our security, because oftentimes if we see it, especially in the community, we've had countless arguments. Who's a witch? Who's not? This, that, the other. Triggering happens to me when you're shaking up a world belief or a world view or somebody's belief. You want to be secure because that's your experience, the way you see and interact with the world. And if anything kind of shakes us a bit out of our security in that, then it's like, oh crap, because it makes us question. But that's also kind of like the beautiful thing about it, isn't it? Like, imagine if instead of kind of getting upset when we've seen someone triggered and had enough understanding and compassion, we could be like, oh, we're growing right now because we're visibly being shaken out of our core to question things, to come above or find that different perspective, I don't know. It's just some thoughts I've been having about that.
Well, I like the way your mind
I
works.
do too. I like the way you work it. Yeah, definitely. Stress and triggers can cause multiples and integration to fragment. That's why I can't stop. Too many pieces that need alignment at all times and all need to be heard. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And we see ourselves, and Amber says it all the time. We see ourselves all the time in each other because we're mirrors of each other. So that makes, so we're fragmented, and yeah. And by understanding others, you understand yourself. It helps to complete it.
Well, that's what she said. She goes, and I find the more people hear themselves and all their parts, the more they hear others. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The more we see our own shadows and demons, so to speak, right?
Yes.
The more aware we become.
Absolutely. I love that song too. I love Tool. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is my all-time favorite song.
I don't think I know that song.
Oh, you would love it. It's got such an excellent groove too. I mean, it's yeah. My mom was so non-self-reflective, just one big box. It was sad for that generation. And
Yeah.
That was conditioning, generational conditioning, though.
Yep.
I mean, when I look back, I'm like 50.
I know, right?
Okay. The women that ads, newspaper ads, what you got them for like Christmas, everything was like a new vacuum cleaner, things for their cleaning apron. They had to have their hair done just right, their makeup done first thing in the morning. And I mean, it's kind of disgusting to me. And they were known as being at home, and my God, if they worked, they were just the epitome of a bad mom, right? Their role was to stay at home and always look their best and be in pictures with vacuum cleaners and being happy. A lot of those women were on volume just to freaking get through the day. Okay. Yeah.
I forgot where I saw it. It was probably a meme, but it was like some of these elites would have something under their dress to help with stress. And I'm thinking, I get it.
Well, can you elaborate on what kind of thing under their dress?
No, not today.
My mind, my imagination is like going off right now. I'm thinking, but
it's cool, man.
Is it a whole person down?
So,
something strapped to their inner thigh or what? You know,
my parents avoided shadow work like the plague. The stigma around the issues I have had and the help I needed to get as a young person was so confronting for them. I know. And I hear that with our mom. It's like she thinks we're blaming her. And that's one of the things that I think about with shadow work. It's not about blaming. It's about identifying and understanding, because when you blame, it takes away from, it's just, you're taking your own accountability out of it. You don't, it's yes, these things happened, but understanding that, like our mom had like 7 brothers and sisters, and she was doing the best she could. She played mom early on, and grandma checked out. So, I mean, it was, she had her own struggles, and things happen, it's more about identifying and understanding it. And then I love her more because, if you can love somebody even more, it's like understanding their brokenness and seeing them as the child.
Yeah. It comes down to intention, doesn't it? Knowing that even though mom made mistakes, it was never her intention to hurt us. It was never, she was just getting through the day, right? So she did the best that she could do. And we're learning more when it comes to parenting. Hopefully each generation gets better.
And my inner child is still here, so hers is too. Your inner child is still right here.
Exactly.
And if it's unhealed, it's like once you heal yours to the best that you can, you will see someone else's unhealed child. It's more sad than it is
Anger, right? Yes, I agree with that.
My mom says it's evil. Going to church is the only solution, period. No discussion. That is so unfortunate, but I hear that. I hear that. Yeah. We get
for
that.
people to give it up to God, give it up to Jesus, and let Him deal with it instead of actually being accountable for ourselves. It's easier that way.
Yeah. That's why it's on us to work on our shadows and those we choose to tackle from our inheritance. Yep. And we're all so different. We're all so different. Our perceptions are different. Yeah.
I always wanted to be like my grandmother, man. But I also could see her wounds too. She was in that generation, but I always looked at her as ahead of her time, But she reminds me a lot of like your guys' mom when like we've talked about it. But yeah, definitely feminine wounds in our family.
Same.
Oh yes.
And I think it gets better with each generation. I don't think it's perfect or all fixed, but I think it gets better at least, when you look from generation to generation.
It really is. It absolutely is. Yes. Because again, we all carry that inner child. And how we deal with that, I think I've noticed a generational thing, even with my kids now, because what I have seen because my youngest is in the field of psychology, is how psychology is viewed today. And modern psychology addresses the symptoms again. So it's like study, which is adverse childhood events. It's bringing Carl Jung back into the forefront again because psychoanalysis was so important in that time. You can't, it's a double-edged sword because some people actually need to be treated for those symptoms because it's vital. It's a part of their chemical breakdown. They need supplemented with some type of medicine to balance out those imbalances. But then you have those that, their neurodivergence is learned behavior. Even some of the tests that you take now outside of like actually going and getting a diagnosis, is this learned behavior or is this something that you've been doing since you were a child? Diagnosing ADHD and autism. There's preliminary type tests that'll tell you whether you should, probably go get a diagnosis. A lot of things fall under that umbrella, but neurodivergence trauma can actually rewire your brain.
Look at relationships. We were just talking about this. Look at relationships that are created through like trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And they can be like lifelong. Like I was saying earlier about like people that are in like the armed forces and stuff, and they have like their platoon or whatever it's called. I'm not sure, but they become brothers and sisters for like life because of, even if it's like a 2-year stint that they did, the amount of things that they have to, experience together, it bonds them. That's
right.
In like home situations, right? Like abuse of all the children in different ways and how that can bond them in different ways,
Yes.
Or even bond you to your captor, so to speak. What is it? Stockholm syndrome?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing. I mean, the mind is amazing.
I think we migrate because we want that understanding, because we want to be seen. So we will migrate with that like-minded company, because it's another way to seek validation. But, group therapy is guided by a professional usually. And I would be one of the first people to tell you that I think that group therapy is sometimes better than going to one-on-one therapy.
It was for me.
Because again, if you don't have somebody guiding that, it can go another way. But yeah, absolutely.
But doesn't that kind of take us back to the wound that we were starting with, which is like overproduction or whatever? And where does that come from? A need of, quite possibly, I mean, come from several things, but also being validated, wanted to be validated, not feeling so alone. So if you have other people that you feel like have experienced something similar, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You feel validated in them, supporting you, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Mike Draven had said earlier, that, a lot of people come to this because we're all seeking like-minded individuals for that type of validation. Yeah.
And I don't think needing validation is always a bad thing, but I think if it's like all that can feed you, or make you feel whole, then we should maybe reflect on why. And
I think also social media has caused so many problems with our younger generations, because anxiety and stuff like that, because they don't know how to just like get together. I mean, when we would party in my generation, we all would get together in person and go to a club or go to a rink or go to the drive-in, whatever, we did things together. We'd have a barn party.
I know, right?
Parties. I mean, the whole town teenagers ended up,
they don't anymore.
No. So a lot of social anxiety comes into play because they don't even know how to deal with the other person. A lot of the dating.
Yes.
You know what song I got? Bow, 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 bow. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Man, I see that in my kids so bad. And I actually got them and a few of their friends to go to a Halloween bonfire with me. They had a blast. But then we get home and I shit you guys not. They look at me and they're like, what was it like to live like this all the time in your generation? What was it like in the 2000s? And I'm like, I've officially reached that age, huh? But I was like, well, it was amazing.
Man, the 80s. I loved the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. I'm old enough I can say that, because I was born in 71, the very beginning of 1971. So I remember the 70s. I remember the big bell bottoms and the like haircuts.
Mine was 80s and the tip of my head upside down, and so I had
oh good God. With Jim, my hair was so big he had to push his head.
Mom's was pretty big too.
He had the big hair. I mean, he had to walk sideways.
Oh yeah.
I was just telling the kids yesterday. I remember my mother, it was early 2000s, man, and she still had the big hair and the bangs curled up and down. And I'm like, Mom, no, we need to. I'm like, grow them out. We need to change now. But I always wanted to live in the 80s, man.
We all did, Draven.
Yeah.
You guys haven't seen it yet. He said Rochelle had her own personal hole in the ozone layer. All the girls, when we would get around when we were going to something, the bathroom, you walk out. Aquanet, right? Until your hair was stiff, and when you go like this, and the whole thing moved.
Oh, okay. She learned the schnapps. came out the color of the flavor. OMG. Mm. I remember carrying schnapps with us in the cooler in the back of it. Yeah.
The shit bed, right?
Yeah, the ship bed. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was like, yeah. Well,
Phone card.
yeah. So,
Good thing
I mean,
didn't get
we're all
pulled over. We had a
relating.
whole bunch of liquor.
I know. And yeah. It's like now a shot and I'm ready for bed.
All right.
I'm like, thank you. Unless I'm ready for bed, then I can't sleep. Then yeah, give me a shot. But so I mean, we're all relating exactly to each other and validating each other. We come to the community for that. I think that a lot of the questions that have been asked in community tags and all that is like, again, come back to what do you want your channel for? And I can relate to something that Sonia still misunderstood. And so it's almost like trying to explain yourself. So somebody took something you said wrong, or you want to re-explain yourself. You want people to understand where you're coming from. And what helped in my own journey with that, because that leads to defensiveness. It leads to other things, being on the defense because somebody misunderstood you, is understanding where that came from. Why? And it's not really that you're being misunderstood, because again, no one is going to perceive you the way you perceive yourself. Right. Not one person out there. Right. So the reality of it is that somebody is probably going to misunderstand you anyway. And understanding why you might feel misunderstood for myself was understanding where that come from, that core wound of not being heard.
Uh-huh. Not being seen in the way that you want to be seen.
Yes, and learning that I had to listen. I was at 5 years old, the one sitting there and mom telling me her stuff. And it's like, I didn't really have a comeback. I was 5. And so I learned to listen, but I knew that was how, I got her attention also, was just by being the listener. And so when I say listening to hear, it's almost like coming full circle again, because I just wanted to be heard. I just wanted to be heard. I was taking all these emotions and shoving them down because that's not what mom wanted. She didn't want to hear that. And other people didn't want to hear that.
For me, I had accepted several years ago that if we're having a deep conversation, if you don't want to hear my reply, then don't tell me, because I need closure.
Yeah.
I could have never been some sort of psychiatrist or something like that just sits there. I am an active participant in that conversation. So unless you want to hear what I have to say, also don't tell me. I need equal exchange. I'm sorry, but that is not about you. It's about me and
that is about you.
What I need.
That's exactly right. And understanding yourself, and now you have those boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm just learning now that, like, I'm okay with listening. I wasn't before for a while, because I didn't understand why that need to be so vocal when it, again, that was about me. But now that I understand where that comes from, then it's like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I still want to express myself, but the need doesn't come from being defensive. It doesn't come from needing to be heard. It doesn't come from that anymore. But it is because I put that to rest. I integrated it. If I got something.
See, one of the areas where this really became very prevalent to me is I had one friend in particular, although I've had many friends throughout the years, because I used to be the other way. Okay, I would just, because I needed to feel like I was helping that person. I didn't want to just be a dumping ground for somebody else, because I held on to that probably far longer than they did. When somebody would tell me their problems, it felt like it was my job, my responsibility at that moment in order to fix it for them. Debbie just said we don't have to fix everyone.
Right.
It's a long time for me to even figure that out, right? So instead of somebody, and I didn't want to come off like an uncaring asshole either. So when somebody would tell me something and just dump a ton of stuff on me, I had to respond, because if I didn't, if I just sit there and go, oh, okay, that makes me feel like I am an unloving, that I hear what they're saying 100%. So I can't just hold space and just listen and be a dumping ground. I cannot anymore. I can't.
Right.
And
I get that. I understand that.
Understands that, right?
Yeah.
Because who doesn't have a shit ton of stuff that they're going through in their life?
Yeah.
When we dump all the time on somebody,
yeah,
and that's what they expect from you as a friend, is just to come and dump on you all the time. I can't do those kind of relationships. I can't.
I think, yeah, well, you're learning which relationships those are too.
Right.
Because somebody can open up to you and they're not dumping. You know what I mean? They're not dumping. They're just sharing. So I think it's understanding and recognizing, because you're recognizing, you'll understand that too. And you're like, okay, no, my boundaries got to be here, because for whatever it is. And I like this. I didn't get to it in time, but I agree. I love doing VRs, and when there's a good prompt, and that's like doing the whole elemental foundations. It's like, oh crap, I learned something new about myself just from answering these prompts, you know. I love that. Yeah. And Sonia says, my channel and writing comes largely from never being able to talk. And I get that too. Why not? Why not? It doesn't matter how your message is received, as long as you're saying something that is important to you. When people start hearing that, you know. And yeah, I mean, that's all it is. I love that. I do.
You know, here's the one thing that I would say to you, Sonia, in regards to that. Because we have new people that come to our channels all the time, we cannot expect that it's always going to be the same people that come. All right. If you're growing, if your channel's growing, it is going to be new people. So just let people know right out of the gate, this channel, like before you do like your long, you know, revealing, I love it, but say just something like, and maybe you do. This is the way that this place is for me to express myself. It is never meant to blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's just me having this place, because people have channels for different things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the only advice that I would give. Not that you have for it was unsolicited, sorry. But I would say that to anybody. Think of when you're doing a video, that you're going to get new people every time to that video. So they might not know in what context you do any of your stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking that she is showcasing her writing right now, and it is phenomenal. And
wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, that's where decades of blogging and writing started. Now I write simply as legacy, not as dialogue. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
See, my kids, my husband, they're not really into anything that I am. So if I go first, and I hope I go first, they can go back if they really want to know who I am and watch all my videos.
Hello. That's one of the things that I say in that tag. Because I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm Bob's other half, and primarily just a workhorse. You know, so the only time I get to be me is with
yes,
you guys.
Yes.
And thank goodness that I get that time. It is very therapeutic.
It is.
Yeah, I have my channel to give back to the community a fraction of what it has given me, and to give a different perspective. Absolutely. There's so many videos that I keep up with now. I'm hitting the overwhelm. My comments are lacking. Sorry. Oh, don't feel alone. You are the only ones that listen about the woo-woo. And yeah, I've been like, when I finally get this edited, it's going to be probably the only. It's like when I get 5 minutes and I come upstairs and I get to watch something. And it's not that I can't watch the videos, it's that I want to be invested when I do. I want to hear. And so, yeah, it does for me too. It gets a little bit overwhelming. And and I want again, so I make sure that I if I miss something, I go back and I rewatch it, and then I make a comment, and sometimes I can only watch when I'm driving, so then I gotta remember to go back and isn't that funny? I will watch it when I'm driving. I'm a safe driver. I know, right? But by golly, I'm going to watch something while I'm driving.
Yeah.
But I'm still listening.
Yeah.
If it's something that I need to watch, or if I'm missing like a deck walkthrough, then I'll go back and I'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Yes.
So what do we think then? I mean, I think we're all got our big girl and big boy pants on. That we've asked ourselves the questions: why do we want our channel?
Well, here's some of. I'm sorry.
No,
Sissy,
go for it, please.
But here's some of the things that it talks about, because I asked my Lily Tara, my Chat GPT, about, do you think that social media and likes and comments can affect our wounds in regards to, which was the like productivity, higher productivity, and stuff like that. And it says how social media hooks childhood wounds. That's why I said it's very smart. The social media is designed the way that it is because it does keep us in this pattern. So the invisible child wound. If a child grew up unseen, ignored, or only noticed when performing, then likes, comments, views become proof that they exist, proof that they matter, temporary emotional oxygen. When numbers drop, it can feel like being invisible all over again, right? So these things affect us emotionally, unless you just really don't care. But I have not seen many people that truly don't care about these things. If it went a certain way and then all of a sudden it changes, and the algorithm does change things, okay, quite frequently. The earned love wound. If love was conditional growing up, social media becomes the same pattern. You perform, you're valued. You stop, you disappear. This feeds the overachiever wound relentlessly. The caretaker wound. People raised to please others often, anxiously reading comments, worry about being misunderstood, respond immediately, feel guilty if they let people down. Social media becomes 1,000 phantom parenting watching. Parents watching, right? The rejection abandonment wound. Each unsubscribe, silence, or low engagement moment can hit like, I'm not good enough, I'm being left, I failed. Even though logically we know it isn't personal, the wounds react, not the adult. It's true. That's how it happens, because some of these things we think that we've worked through, but we haven't. And social media puts it right in your damn face, right? The performing child or high achiever wound. The algorithm rewards speed, quantity, consistency, constant output. So this mirrors the childhood belief. If I stop producing, I lose love and safety. It keeps the nervous system in survival mode, always hustling. The comparison / unworthy wound. So seeing others get more engagement triggers shame, self-doubt, the old belief of being less than, the wound that says I must work harder to be worthy, and it becomes a psychic battleground. And it does. It can affect your psyche so strong. The perfectionism wound. Creators with childhood criticism or high pressure environments often re-record endlessly. So instead of it, being like one video and they're good, no, it wasn't right. So they scrap it and they make another recording and they scrap it. And because it's just not perfect, or you're afraid of the way that someone's going to say something, or someone's going to take what you say, right? Obsess over metrics, fear negative comments, just a lot of positive comments. And then one negative just throws you right in a freaking tailspin. Then there. I'm like, were you watching the same video, idiot? And there's more, but that just goes to show you what social media, us being here, can do to us.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Damn, this can be so true. It's one of the many reasons I abandoned meta platforms, the fakery and the pushing of comparison culture. Yes. Yes. And I don't know if you read Darla's comment, but I appreciate that. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And Debbie says, I don't watch socials really other than YouTube. It's depressing. I had to stop watching news many years ago. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. When you think about it that way, the way that you put that out there, sis, it's really, it's like you can almost see that in all of us. You can see it in all of us. And that's really, it's kind of amazing to break it down in that way.
I would just ask yourself, are you feeling these things? If you're really feeling these things, where are they really coming from? Is it really from social media, or is it much, much closer? So when people say they're not doing shadow work, if you're on social media and you're feeling any of these things, and then you're reflecting on it, guess what? You're doing shadow work.
And I think that's the biggest thing too, because all of the things that you mentioned, I think the majority of them I've struggled with and then put it to rest. Because I do feel the guilt wound if I don't respond or watch videos, but it's because of the support. I feel like I'm letting anybody down if I am struggling myself. It's just because I want to support back, but I don't let that be my motivator. My motivation doesn't come from guilt anymore. It comes, you know what I mean? It's a healthy motivation, because now if I put one video out, so be it. If I can only get to 3 or 4 videos a day, I did make it to those videos and I did comment and I watched them. I watched them all the way through and I listened. And I feel no guilt in that, so, and then I don't think about the other stuff because I do know what I have going on and I don't have to explain it because I think people get it. We're all adults. We all have things that happen, and if you're carrying guilt over that, you're carrying someone else's.
I definitely carry guilt over it. I feel bad. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you. I feel bad if I don't, and I miss people's videos all the time. It's just, I'm a human being.
That's it. That's it. But what but you don't want guilt motivating you to go to somebody's channel. You're going to it because you want to be there. You want to support them. That motivation is
because I love and want to support them. I want them to feel seen and heard. And that's why I feel guilty if I can't make it. But my first priority is always the people that are watching me and supporting me. That's my first priority. Sometimes there's not much left for anything.
That's it. That's it. My priority is what I have going on right now during the day. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's morning to bedtime, really. So yeah, if I was to let that motivate me to, then it would be worse than what it is now. So I'm not saying that there's some shadow work that needs to be done, because right now there is a lot of work in shadow that needs to be addressed with it. But I'm learning certain things. Guilt should not be a motivator.
It
you know,
shouldn't, right?
I'm speaking for myself, because I have, and then I'm like, then the dissociation comes out, and then I'm just like checked out for days. Whereas the more that I learn to balance it, I'm getting in at least 3 or 4 videos a day of watching someone else's, and then I'm not focused on creating my own content. It's important, because it's important for me to share, and I have built the channel, and what I'm sharing. It is important, but it's not my priority.
Yeah.
So things are changing. Is all.
I'm loving the conversation that's in the comments too. You guys are friggin' amazing.
I probably missed a lot.
Well, it's easy too. I mean, we're having a full-blown conversation here. But that's what the sisterhoods are for. But you know what? If you guys would like sometimes to come on as a guest,
yes,
we would love to get your guys' actual take on this stuff too.
Yes.
You are wonderfully supportive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And she's one of the channels. I'm like, well, I didn't see a video, and I noticed that she's kind of like I am, maybe even less, puts out a video once in a great while.
Her videos are amazing.
I love them.
And
very inspiring.
The scenes that she does, and the
editing.
I'm like, I want to go. I love it.
It is a struggle between creating and consuming. I agree. Yes. It keeps moving, so I'm probably missing a lot, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It is beautiful. I love it.
Absolutely.
And she's beautiful. Oh my gosh, those cheekbones. Oh, gorgeous, honey.
Oh, well, thank you, Jess. But you shouldn't feel guilty about that, because
I do that sometimes, because I just don't have the spoons. Honestly, if I'm doing something else, I don't have the spoons to chat. So I'll watch silently so that I can be there and hear it and then comment later. Just so, because I do that with Selena's, honestly, because it's too hard to be in the chat and talking, and so I get it.
That is awesome that you can do that. Working from home. I mean, I'm home. It's just, I sometimes want to change my name from Mima to something that can't be pronounced. Mima, 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 Mima. And then right up front,
Mom.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Eyes are glazed over. Yeah. And I do a lot of driving. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I'm driving my life away.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
You guys are wonderful. This has been really good.
So, any closing comments? Courtney, you've been pretty quiet. What you
got
to say, girl? What you
Sorry,
got to say,
my
girl?
dog has been consistently this entire time I've been muting. He won't stop.
Oh.
He was at the door demanding to get in, paws underneath, barking, yelling at me. And I'm like, okay, I'll let him in. We'll continue with the live, let him in. And then he just keeps. And I'm like, wow, I can't get a word in because you're doing it all, Floki. So Maybe next time we'll let him talk. But
Yeah. We'll have one of Carla's cats.
I like it.
We'll have one of my dogs and Floki, your dog, and we'll have a live.
That would be good.
you have the same idea? Voiceovers? Voiceovers?
Oh, yes, that's
We're going to talk about it.
That would be fun. Heck yeah.
Carla, did you see what Draven said?
Yeah, it's going to change my
So-
name to a hieroglyphic.
Symbol of unknown origin. He is so funny. I swear. to
Yeah.
God.
It'll change my
Yeah.
name to There you go.
I love the chat too. And I was agreeing with her unboxings, all of that. I wanted to say it, but I'm just like,
Yeah. All that gossip goodness, right? Yummy, yummy.
Yes.
Love it.
I love it. But yeah, so I mean, I think we said just about all there is to say, and just that, I love you guys, love yourselves, all of each other, and I
All
appreciate
you need
everybody.
is love.
Mhm.
All you need is love.
I know my struggles, and I know everybody in some way, shape, or form struggles.
Mhm.
And to me, it's about realizing and understanding that,
Yep.
just understanding we all got issues.
Yep. I think the biggest thing that we can do for each other is try to see each other's child.
Yes.
Yes.
Because have you
That's
ever
why I
been
think
so
that's-
angry you're not looking at that? I have.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Where
I-
you just don't even care to look at the other person's. You don't want to know. If we could get past that.
Sometimes we forget they're even just a human being, right? Even
Yeah.
an adult. We just look
Yeah.
at them as like the adversary, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Definitely.
that's something I'm working on now, like actively in my shadow work, is actually a suspicion of seeing everyone as an adversary. What are your real motives? Like
Yeah.
I'm
What you mean by that?
horrible with this
Yeah.
defense. So I'm actively personally, because I'm
Aw.
terrible with it.
Me too, honey. I'm right there with you. I am working on that same shit.
Yep.
It sucks, man, because like there's valid reasons why you felt that way through life and what led to it, but it also can be pretty weighing.
We love you guys very
Yeah.
much. We love the community.
Yep. Working out in the public, it's hard not to, especially in customer service. Yeah.
Look, my customers, most of them, I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm triggered now.
Just thinking about
Good
your customers, right?
grief.
I say that, but my biggest struggles is when I'm driving, and I do a lot of driving, because I can check out at home, honestly, and the dissociation is kind of like a survival skill sometimes. But sometimes I get stuck there. But the driving, I can't, and I'm like this. And if I stop and look at them as children, oh yeah, that ain't happening either. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, you're not old enough to drive.
Is that why you're driving like this?
You're letting your inner child drive, aren't you?
Well, hey,
Carla's one
Like
of those
she
drivers, you guys. The people
some
that you
people are
pass
just
down the road and you're looking at her when you pass her and you're going like this because she's like this.
I take my driving serious. Yeah.
Oh, she's not a raging driver. Well, she rages, but she's a putt-putt grandma, okay?
Well,
Yeah, I am.
do any of you ever struggle with that though? It's like you're consciously trying to like work on this, and like you find yourself first starting to be like, all right, their inner child, see the compassion, see the and then you're just like,
Right.
it's like you go from to like
Yeah.
second.
Oh yeah.
And then you get home and you're like, Have compassion.
Yeah.
Right now.
Sage, and you're like, we'll
Sage
just
it.
Go at it and
exercise
fail
this.
miserably, but we're going to try again tomorrow.
Yeah, and now there's snow and ice and everything else.
Oh,
and
yeah.
nothing nice on the road.
Be careful, all of you up north, too, man. I heard you guys are getting rocked. Glad I'm not there.
2 feet of snow is out there right now. It's like,
Mm. And stay warm.
yeah.
Turkey.
All right. Well, oh, hey, Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hi, sugar.
Well, I guess we're going to sign off. And again, I want to say thank you. I think that these type of conversations are amazing. And just being able to just say whatever and talk about real things it feels good. It feels really
It's
good.
healing.
I think it is, definitely. And I'd say definitely keep those tags coming that prompt us to think about things because, yeah, it's amazing. And you're right. It is healing. So,
You see what Draven put? Again. It's going to be 80 where he's at today, and he's hiding. He's hiding from all of us.
oh,
Draven's my neighbor, so.
Oh,
Oh.
it's going to be 80 there too for you?
Probably. I mean, it's a little chilly in the mornings here, and then by the noon, I'm like dying. So
I like get into bed and I'm cold and I lay there for a little bit going, and then I've, halfway through the night, I got my leg out,
You're hot. Yep.
Dang, I'm hot. What the heck, man? Jeez, is there no happy balance here?
I know, right?
well, at night it gets cold, and Luke has the fan on. So I'm a burrito all night.
Oh, it feels so good to just. We've got like a heavy down comforter. We keep it even in the summertime. I just love to cocoon. I just love that feeling of having it all the way up. Just
yeah, Florida, right? So that is pretty interesting. The weather is weird. It's winter 9 months a year. In Florida, it's summer 9 months a year. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man.
I remember you saying that in the video. I love fan air on me. I love it. I feel
like the
too hot when I don't have it on me.
Oh, well.
Hopefully I'll be able to visit Sweden next year.
Yeah.
We're planning.
It's beautiful.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Hopefully manifesting this,
That's right. Yes.
Well, thank you again. And I just want to say thank you to anybody catching the playback too. I really appreciate that. And leave comments. Let us know that you were here. And somebody will respond.
Yeah. Hi, Sophie. I love you.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day or evening. And we will see you all again real soon. And I hope everybody has
love you guys.
a good day.
Can I do it right?